Cardiff University tested a series of measures to tackle coffee cup waste and encourage the use of reusable cups. Report author Professor Wouter Portinga, what the fucking hell is he from? Said some 2.5 billion disposable cups were used annually. It's just like the carrier bags, isn't it? Don't get me wrong, I'm all for recycling, and for for helping the environment that way. But there has to be the responsibility. You shouldn't have to be charged to buy stuff from a fucking store. I think that's the stupidest fucking thing. I do it because we've all got to do it anyway, but it's a kick in the teeth, isn't it? You're buying food and prices aren't cheap and they're going up again, and you've got to fork out for and now you've got to fork out for a fucking cup of coffee. The answer is clear. Don't buy the fucking coffee. No, I'll wait till I get home. You can fuck off charging extras, bastards. Right, this is a weird... I don't know where I stand on this, I really don't. And this happened in Manchester, at Manchester Town Hall. Mum's fury after they were kicked off a city walking tour with their babies because guides said it was like bringing along a dog. I'm in two minds about this. Outspoken guide Ed Glinnett feared the children would make too much noise and people would start cooing them. You do with kids babies when they start. Part of me is on his side because at the end of the day, you go on a museum tour and you want quiet, don't you, and everything, and so forth, and and they're talking, they're doing the lectures and everything, and the last thing you need is a screaming kid, a baby. But you see, at the end of the day, my take on that is well, if that happens, you either pacify the baby quickly with a dummy or whatever, or drugs with chloroform. Seriously, you sort the kid out, don't you? A decent mother, somebody that knows what they're doing, or you wheel the baby off to an area away from the tour and then go back when the baby's all right. That's what you do. That's the common sense thing, isn't it? But just to kick them off and tell them it's like having a dog around is just fucking... Well, that was always going to cause fucking trouble, wasn't it? I think he's been a bit fucking over the top there. And, of course, they've gone on Facebook and Twitter, where else? And he's been burned alive at the stake already 10 times. Hung, drawn and fucking quartered. Execution by fucking social media, yes. Lydia wrote, the tour we weren't allowed to join because we dared bring our children. Well, you should have had a think about it, sweetheart. You know that these tours are usually with talks and everything, and everybody has to be quiet to listen. Taking a small child, why don't you just get somebody to mind the kid and go on your own, darling? You'd probably enjoy it more anyway. Get a sitter or something. But where's the common sense here? There's none, is there? From both sides. And publicly humiliated in front of the whole tour until we had wasted 2 spaces, which we'd already paid for. Well, one of the reasons given as to why we couldn't join is because people may coo the babies. You can just fucking vision of this cute little baby in a pram, and all these people fucking goo, and the fucking guy's there doing his fucking nuts, hands on it, stamping his feet. I've had enough of this. This is fucking not what I fucking joined this job for. Oh dear. Fucking grow up, you silly bastard. Both sides could have got their fucking heads together here and sorted that out. And they had this exchange, and there's a brilliant remark. Your reaction is completely over the top. This is this guy, Ed Glinnard. And as is your language, words like appalling, there was simply no reasoning with you. You were shocked that someone, me, could disagree with you. That's all there is to it. Bit of arrogance there, isn't there, in that comment? As for the notion that the customer is always right, not when the customer is wrong. Well, having done 30 odd years in retail and what have you, working with the public, I tend to sort of Agree with that. I was just a bit surprised that after some 500 town hall tours over the last 8 years, anyone would bring a baby along. Yes, I could have handled it better. Yes, you could. Simply by agreeing with you or not saying anything. We could have all laughed it off, but you and your friend immediately went into attack mode. Well, see, these young mothers do, don't they? They do get very aggressive, and he's responded in kind. Both fucking idiots, and they could have dealt with it a lot better. But that's what you get when you get crackpots from both sides. Jury's out on that one. Right, this is a brilliant story. I like this. I don't know if any of you love fish and chips. I love fish and chips. It's my favourite food. There are some amazing places up and down this country where where you can have the most amazing. Some are extortionate, cost you a fortune, like Blackpool, for instance, and some are not. Some are value for money. But there's a company called Papa's. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, and they're from Hull. And what they did was, they must do very, very well, because they decided to sell 10,000 fish suppers. I don't think the person that wrote this is a sweaty sock, because that's what the jocks say, fish suppers. Fish and chip meals, for 10,000 of them for a penny. The mammoth giveaway was a celebration after the business won Best Fish and Chip Shop in the country, the BBC Awards. Hundreds of people lined out the door to grab a bag of award-winning fish and chips for just 1 penny. A friend of mine who'll be listening to this, I won't mention his name, he will know about this, and I'd like his input on how good these fish and chips are, because I would imagine he'll have had some at some stage, or he'll know of somebody that has. You know you are. Papa's Chippy sold mountains of the stuff, smashing their target of giving away 10,000 portions at the heavily discounted price. And there's pictures of all these fucking people queuing out the fucking door everywhere. And of course, anything that's more or less free, isn't it? It left them £40,000 out of pocket. The owner said it was all about giving back. Dino Papas, I don't know, he sounds Spanish or whatever, I'm not sure, who owns the fish and chip shop chain with his dad Sid and brother George, said they simply wanted to thank their community after they were awarded the BBC's Best Fish and Chip Shop. How fantastic is that? You see, good publicity as well. It's put them in a great light, and they've got national coverage and everything with it as well. Well, they had that anyway with the award, didn't they? But not done them any harm, has it, that? Yeah, 40 grand out, but they'll make that back. They'll make that back in very quickly as well. They'll probably end up opening more chains. So good move, that. Very clever. Great gesture. And for what is the best food in the world. Yes, I think so. Right. There's... let me just check the time. We've got 22 minutes left. Ooh, it's gone quick, hasn't it? There's something, I saw something on, was it Facebook? I saw this on, or Twitter, I think it was. And it just shows you how there's a lot of idiots. A lot of fucking head cases out there, isn't there? And somebody's actually documented some instances of fucking morons and some of the crazy things that people do, the general public do, up and down the country. And here's about, I think there's, how many is there instances? We'll do 5, and they're absolutely outrageous. My daughter and I went to the McDonald's drive-through checkout window to pay our bill, and I gave the clerk a £5 note. Our total bill was £4.20, so I handed her a 20p piece. Yeah, we know what she's doing there, don't we? She wants the quid back. The clerk said, "You gave me too much money." "Yes, I know," said the person handing the money over, "but this way you can give me just £1 back." She sighed and went to get the manager, who asked me to repeat my request. I did so, and he handed me back the 20p and said, "We're sorry, but we do not do that kind of thing." The clerk then proceeded to give me back 80p in change. Unbelievable. What the fuck? They're not trained, are they? It's not so much training there, bad training, because I've actually worked at McDonald's, but that's just utter fucking stupidity on all of their parts. I think he's morons, are they? What a fucking ridiculous fucking statement that is. What a fucking loony. You wonder, don't you, how they get through fucking life. Idiot sighting number 2. That's how they've labelled them. We had to have the garage door repaired. The Garador repairman, that must be the company, told us that one of our problems was that we did not have a large enough motor on the opener to crank the door open. I thought for a moment and said that we had the largest one Garador made at that time, 1/2 horsepower. He shook his head and said, "Lady, you need 1/4 horsepower." I responded that half was larger than 1/4, and he said, no, it's not. 4 is larger than 2. We haven't used Garador repair since, and that happened in Moor Park near Watford. Fucking incredible. What a fucking nutcase. I live in a semi-rural area. This is idiot sighting number 3. We recently had a new neighbour call the Highways Department to request the removal of the deer crossing sign from our road. The reason? Too many deer are being hit by cars on this stretch of road. I don't think this is a good place for them to be crossing anymore, do you? Oh, fucking true story. From Potter's Bar, Hertfordshire. Incredible. Idiot sighting number 4. My daughter went to a local Kentucky Fried Chicken and ordered a taco. Tacos, you know, the tortilla bread and the Mexican food, isn't it? Love tacos, burritos and fajitas, that kind of thing. She asked the person behind the counter for minimal lettuce. Didn't like a lot of lettuce. He said he was sorry, but they only had iceberg lettuce. Fucking South. That's from South Oxley in Hertfordshire again. Fucking hell, is it? Fucking Moronville, Hertfordshire. The old crackers down there, or what? The last one, idiot sighting number 5. This is a belter. I was at the airport checking in at the gate when an airport employee asked, "Has anybody put anything in your luggage without your knowledge?" To which I replied, "If it was without my knowledge, how would I know?" He smiled knowingly and nodded. "That's why we ask." Yeah, Luton Airport, that. Luton Airport. Fucking hell. Amazing. Brexit. Yes, we're out. We're off and running. And all these remoaning tosspots, whinging doommongers, must have been fucking despairing yesterday when they saw the British ambassador to the EU deliver that amazing letter signed by the Prime Minister that we're now away, we're now going. And of course, 2 years of negotiations. I just hope that Theresa May doesn't start watering all this down, because if she does, there'll be holy hell. You see, if she starts giving concessions and starts, especially where the whole point of this was the immigration side, wasn't it, mainly, and sovereignty and lots of other things, fisheries, farming, which we got bled dry, didn't we? You see, the thing is, 40 years ago, when we joined this, it was the EEC, European Economic Community. It was to do with trade. It wasn't anything to do with laws being governed by other countries that we didn't even elect. That's one of them. That's my main reason for voting out. We govern ourselves. We're not governed by some fucking unelected head case, headed by a fucking drunk ex-mayor from Luxembourg, Claude Juncker. What a fucking lunatic that is. Arrogant piece of shit. You know, we have elections. We elect our politicians and MPs, and then if they don't perform, if they don't do what it says on the tin, what we ask them to do, then we fuck them off every 5 years or whenever, depending on depending what happens. But that's how it should be. Not, and of course, all these laws crept in. There's been something like hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of laws from Brussels that we never voted for. Isn't that incredible? You know? And then blue flags flying from town or public buildings everywhere. A foreign flag. Not our flag. You know, it was just outrageous, and this is one of the main reasons. The Prime Minister's words sparked an angry reaction from some EU officials who said security was too important to be used as a bargaining chip in trade negotiations. This is because the Germans have already said that we will get what we're given, more or less, and Theresa May said, well, listen, if we don't get what we're given, we will pull security away. We've got the best security services in the world. And if you want to share information and security with us, then we do a deal. It's part of the deal. Well done, Theresa May. It's one of probably the best bargaining chip. that she's probably got. And of course, the David Davis has said, look, it's not a threat. Like, well, it fucking should be, because I'd use it as a threat. I just hope these politicians, and this is why we still need UKIP, I think, around just to watch. I mean, that